he was an all-Canadian coach. He learned his rugby in Victoria. He coached here. He coached at Esquimalt, I believe, at James Bay. He coached the Tide. He coached BC, and he ended up coaching Canada. And he's a homegrown product.
Starting out as a player with the James Bay Athletic Association in 1956, Tillman Briggs became a player-coach in 1963 and was a club coach from 1965 to 1990. His illustrious coaching career included winning many Vancouver Island titles and a remarkable 7 straight provincial club championships and 8 and 9 years with James Bay from 1974 to 1981.
I think when he first came, he didn't have the greatest rugby knowledge, but he had a sport knowledge. And Tillman's thing was he would get guys to play together and to play together as a team. And my job as captain, when we went through those 7 years in a row we won BC championships, it was to make sure what Tillman wanted on the field happened. And it was unique that sometimes Tillman was wrong, but it didn't matter. We would do something, because Till always said that even if we're doing the wrong thing, as long as we're all always doing it together, then it'll be better than 15 of us trying to do individual things. So that was, and my job as captain was to make sure that everyone was on the same page as Till, and if he wanted us to play a certain way, that's the way we played.
There's an interesting combination there of Tillman and Gary. They're two very strong individuals. Gary captain, Till coach, and between the two of them, they produced a great club atmosphere. And it wasn't just on the field. A lot happened off the field. Till was instrumental in getting things happening at the clubhouse here, and getting James Bay back off the ground after the war years. He became more influential through the '60s, but he was certainly there in the early years when it was just a group of fellas come back from the war and wondering how they could get things going again.
I don't think he coined the phrase, but he repeated it many times. Always get your retaliation in first. And I remember playing a bunch of cocky guys from Australia called Western Suburbs. And we were at Athletic Park, and we were playing, and it was a pretty tough game. They had a lot of big names on it. And at halftime, I said, Till, it was almost tied, I think, at halftime. It was close. And I said, Till, there's a guy in Australia, the guy at the end of the line, he's smiling at me all the time. He keeps looking at me and smiling at me. I don't know what he's upsetting me. He said, look, if he smiles at you in the second half, you smack him, and we'll get things started. And okay, so okay, sure enough. So the first line out, this guy turns to me and he starts smiling at me again. And so all of a sudden I pound him one, and everything breaks loose. And Barry Robbins is like 155 pounds at the time, and he starts trouble, but he never follows it through. He comes running in, jumping in for number 10, and hands and all the boys. And then at the end of the stuff, the whistles are going everywhere, and you look around, and there's 3 guys from Western Australia lying in different parts of the field. So James Bay, in that era, was a pretty tough physical team, and we matched up with anyone in the world that way. And that was partly due to Till, uncompromising, physical, tough, and we didn't get pushed around, nor were we intimidated by anybody coming with a foreign accent.
As the leading motivational force of the James Bay dynasty in the 70s and early 80s, few, if any, matched the level of success, respect, and camaraderie Briggs built in his extraordinary coaching career. Tillman Briggs, builder, BC Rugby Hall of Fame.